Hi, welcome to Brunch with Brian. It's your daily home investing live stream. It's your way to stay in touch with the business, get all the latest, hottest tips, what you need to know. And today we're going to talk about forms, how forms are little mini systems. This business is very heavily system dependent, as is any business, I suppose, if you think about it. And you need a lot of checklists and to-do lists and make sure things are done properly. So we're going to talk about the forms that I think are the most important ones. I am kind of a wizard at creating forms. Every time I would find any kind of a hole in the business, anything that was ever slowing us down, I would create a new form. And voila, it's like it solves the issue. So if you have, for instance, there are some times when you need a form to help you with a stick campaign. A stick campaign means making the deal stick. So there's a time period, and this is can be an anxious time period, and it's a crucial time period between the time that you sign the agreement, the purchase and sale agreement, or the lease with option agreement with the seller, and they get into the attorney and actually deed the property over to you, sign the deed over to you. That's a time when they don't necessarily stop taking calls from other investors. And yes, if they called you and said, I know you gave me $10 or $100, and I know this is, a binding agreement, but I'm not going to go through with it. I'm tearing it up. Okay, if they decide to do that, what do? Not a lot you can do. It's very hard to force people to sell their house to you with terms. Okay, so any judge is not going to, I don't care what kind of agreement you have signed, it's not going to get enforced. So that's why you got to get them in there and get the attorney appointment. There should be no more than about a week between the time you sign. Write that down. You should try to do it within a week. So if you bought the house on a Saturday or Sunday, you're putting in the agreement to get title run on Monday morning, first thing. Hopefully your title comes back within 2 or 3 days, as it does in most areas. If it does, then you could get that seller in there to sign the final paperwork by Thursday or Friday. So it's possible to get the seller in there within a week, but don't let that delay and don't let your lawyer mess it up. So we created a form because this stick thing was an issue, that sometimes people would have second thoughts. They talked to another investor and they told them what they did with us, and all of a sudden they're giving them a better offer or whatever. Okay, so what can help you with a stick campaign? I realized that when we're leaving that house, we're leaving them with nothing. I mean, other than some promises hanging in the air that we bought their house, they have no physical proof or evidence that we bought their house, because we didn't carry a copy machine with us, so we couldn't really give them copies. And before the days where people could take pictures with their phone, they didn't have anything. So I created this form, and it's called the Seller Congratulations Letter. And this is a form that I absolutely want you to use all the time. The two forms that I think get forgotten and not used, that I am the most adamant about people using, is the closing call prep sheet. Okay, closing call prep sheet. Every time you get an opening call, a lead, you don't have to do it maybe on really bad no leads, but if it's a yes lead and it's worthy of you really investing some time and energy and doing a little research, I say go on Zillow before every call, because it takes you 30 seconds to do a lot of Zillow research and actually maybe develop an angle of a way to approach that seller. Then maybe they identify the hot buttons in that ad. Okay, so I always say do a little bit of research, but fill out the closing call prep sheet. Especially if you have a good one and you're kind of nervous about calling it, fill out that closing call prep sheet. It will help solidify your approach in your own mind. It'll even have a backup approach. It has a space for sellers' hot buttons if you know anything, and sometimes just by reading the Zillow you can figure something out. If it's a vacant house, it's probably debt relief that they want. They're making payments on some vacant house. So there's a lot of different reasons why people want to do or are open to doing a creative financing deal with us. And so you just want to fill out this closing call prep sheet so you go into that closing call the most prepared. And preparation is a great fear killer. There's a few things that I really focus on with our students to help them get over the fear, but preparation is one. So if you feel like you're going into that closing call well prepared because you filled out that closing call prep sheet, otherwise, how are you going to get prepared? You're just going to say, okay, I think I'm ready. Maybe I'll look at comps a little bit more or whatever, but you don't have a game plan. This closing call prep sheet is your game plan for the closing call. It's how you're going to approach. It's what deal you're going to pitch them basically, and and a backup deal and a whole bunch of other great information that you need. So please use the closing call prep sheet. All the forms are, when you go on your member website, the ourwolfpack.com, just go into your what to say and what to do system, and it's in the forms. I think we call it 25 must-have forms or something like that. But go into the forms and the closing call prep sheet is in there. You should probably print about 20 of them. And also I want you to print 20 FSBO call scripts. Now these are very, very important forms, and they have the scripts built right in. So these are your opening calls, and it's always one of these three sheets. One of these three forms is the form that you use to do these opening calls. And that is either the FSBO opening call, or the landlord opening call, or the incoming opening call. Those are the only three. If you have the script tablet, they're all loaded in the file folder called opening calls, obviously. So now that's how you start the call. And we have those forms, so I want you to print them so you're filling in the spaces as you're going along. And then, whether it's a landlord call, the FSBO call, or whatever, that's your opening call form. Then what do you do? What form do you fill out before you make the closing call? Were you listening to me? The closing call prep sheet. So you fill out the closing call prep sheet, you're really ready. It shouldn't take you more than a couple of minutes, and then you're going into that call very prepared and a lot more confident, because that's really what helps conquer fears, that preparation. So that's just an example of one form. Now I was talking about the stick campaign. So the closing call prep sheet I created because everybody's too nervous. They're too nervous going into these closing calls. But by taking that extra couple minutes and writing some notes and getting a little better prepared, and actually having a sheet that you can write notes on, there's big spaces for notes. If you're trying to scribble scrabble on that opening call sheet, you're writing up and down the margins and everything, it's a mess. That's why you need this closing call prep sheet. If I could just do one thing, if I could get you just from this one Brunch with Brian to use the closing call prep sheet and use a couple of these other forms, I would be a happy man, okay? Because they're so helpful, but people just think, oh, I don't need that or whatever, but I create these forms for a reason. And the other one that I want to use for sure is the seller congratulations letter. So that's in your Wolfpack forms as well. And this is a letter that you leave behind. If you go out to the house and do a live deal meeting, you leave this behind with them. If you do a virtual deal meeting, you actually have it in the paperwork packet that you either send to them or you email it to them. But you make sure you point this out. They're going to print all these forms, and you're going to go through that seller congratulations letter, and it says congratulations in big letters at the top. It says, Dear Joe and Barbara, you got their name on there, and then you say, congratulations, you have sold your house to A-OK Homes, or whatever your Pinnacle Properties LLC, whatever your management company type name is. Remember, you need one official sounding. I don't mind if you have some crazy LLC, like we love buying houses in Miami, .LLC, whatever. I'm okay if you have that kind of thing for advertising purposes, but you need a bank account and a normal name of a normal one that sounds like a management company, because they're gonna, eventually you're gonna send a lender letter. Okay, that's another really important form. Anytime there's an underlying mortgage, you got to get that seller to fill out the lender change of address form. That's really important. Otherwise, they could mess up, call the mortgage company, and maybe interfere with the due on sale. Probably not, but just you don't want to leave it up to chance. So you're going to give them the seller congratulations letter, and that even tells them you don't have to have any more communication with your mortgage company. It tells them the 7 things that we still need to collect, and maybe sometimes you will have collected some things, but those include insurance paperwork, any HOA paperwork, the name of their insurance agent, the mortgage company information, an actual copy of the mortgage. I'd like to get that if I can, with the terms. What you want to look at is the mortgage note. The mortgage note. I don't care about the mortgage itself. That's what ties the note to the property. But the note is called a promissory note because you're promising to pay back blank amount of dollars over blank many years with blank mini payments per month and a balloon payment or not or whatever. So the note is the key form that you fill out, and the note and the mortgage is what gives you, enables you to buy the property when they deed it over to you. And that shows the debt to the seller. And so that's important paperwork there. Now, so if you can just, but the seller congratulations letter gives them the 7 things that you still need to collect if you do need to collect anything. Many times, if you're at the house, maybe you can get a bunch of that stuff. But the last part is like house keys. Now they actually might be ready in the deal meeting if it's a vacant house and you're buying it and they're good with you buying it. I mean, I love getting the keys. If I can get the keys on the deal meeting, I am, yes. Or if our acquisitionist calls, and I ask them, well, did they give you the keys? Yes, we got the keys. Okay, because that, in their mind, that they're done. Okay, remember, they're not really done yet until they get into that attorney and actually deed the property over and they take it down to the county recorder and record it. You're really not done until they even get it down to the county recorder. That basically happens the day they sign usually, or the next day. So you gotta be able to get through that little time span when between the time they sign and the time the new deed's recorded. So that's what this seller congratulations letter is. So when they leave, they look at this letter and they say, congratulations, okay, congratulations, we sold our house to this company. And it has nice things in there, so that's a really good stick campaign. So like I said, if I could just get you for this Brunch with Brian to use just even those 2 forms, the closing call prep sheet and the seller congratulations. I created both of those forms myself to solve a problem. And they both really are great at solving problems. There's a bunch of other forms that I really like that I want you to be aware of. The rapport building scripts form. That's on there, and we only gave it out, if you saw us live, we probably gave it out to you, along with steps of the closing call. Those are very helpful forms. I wouldn't say you have to use steps of the closing call. That's more of a training form. So that's not an operations form. So some of these forms are for training and some are daily operations. And so closing call prep sheet, what is that? Is that training or daily operations? Closing call prep sheet. It's daily operations. You're using it and you're filling it out on every deal you do. What about the seller congratulations letter? That's a daily operations form. Some of these forms, like the rapport building scripts, how about that? Again, we give it out at the event, but that's a daily operations form. I want you guys following the rapport building scripts. That's a really good form, and if you don't know you have it, remember they're all up there on that 25 must-have forms. If you need any of these forms, just send us an email at support@thewolfcouple. If you're having trouble finding any of these forms, just let us know. These are the really important ones. That one is the rapport building scripts, which is what I like so much. Here's the closing call prep sheet. So this is a really important form, guys, the closing call prep sheet. And it's got all the information and the different deals and everything that you're gonna go through. Here's a nice daily operations form that I want you to use that I created called the landlord closing call script. So I want you to use that. And now there's a lot of other forms I can go over, but I'm gonna wrap it up. I wanna make sure that you guys go into there and that would be my assignment today. Go in there, go up on your member website, put your passcode in there and look under the forms and go through them. I tell you to print one of everything and just kind of get the feel of it. There's only, like I said, 25 forms in there. Most of them are 1 page. Some of them are 2 pages, but I really like to keep things condensed and comprehensive as much as possible. So I have created an amazing form set, and I do have a real skill for doing this. And so I want you to be using these forms. Everything that you're running into that you think, oh my gosh, this is a big problem, I've never run into this before, nobody's ever had this problem before, I've created a form to fix it, trust me. So, or to make it better, to make you more effective in that situation. So use the forms. Forms are like mini systems, okay? So I love forms. Let's do that as an affirmation, okay? 1, 2, 3. I love forms. Yes. 1, 2, 3. I love forms. Guys, forms are systems that make you powerful. Forms are like little mini systems. So that's what I love about it. I love systems. And it's German Chocolate Cake Day, and I'm half German, and Germans love systems. And so get into your systems and make these systems work. It was Howlin' Wolf's birthday yesterday, and I missed it because I got going on other topics. And it's also, what is it on Fridays, guys? You know what it is on Fridays? It is Formal Dining Room Fridays. And I try to light the candles just for fun, just to make it a little more interesting and make it special. Because you guys are special to me. Okay. All right, so guys, I'm wrapping up here. Let's do our deep breathing. Okay, but I do want to say shout out to Howlin' Wolf, great blues man. And today, there's a few things today that I want to be aware of. And it's Corn on the Cob Day, German Chocolate Cake Day. It's Making Life Beautiful Day today. So let's make life beautiful. It's Marriage Day. So if you're married, I have a big long story about that, but I'm not going to go into it. And so I love seeing you guys here. Just want to commemorate a few of those national days. It's Friday, so you got the weekend. Anytime it's a weekend and it's summertime, I want you to get out there and use these forms. Fill out forms. If you're filling in forms, if you're filling out closing call prep sheets, I know you're doing stuff. I know you're taking action and you're talking to sellers. So that's what we want. Try to talk to 10 sellers this weekend. That's a good goal. At least 10 sellers this weekend. See if you can get out and see a couple of houses. Boy, would that be awesome. And get something under contract. Use these great forms that we've created to make your business go faster. Okay? Nice deep breath in. With a smile. Let it go. Relax your shoulders and your neck. Deep breath in. Hold a second. Thank God it's Friday. Friday's always a great day, exciting in real estate. Deep breath in. Hold a second. Let it go. Okay, I'm excited for the weekend. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm excited for the weekend. All right, guys, so I will see you back on Monday. And until then, keep expecting success, taking a lot of action, and getting awesome training right here with us. We love you guys, and we'll see you on Monday, if not sooner. Bye for now, from Brunch with Brian.